The eagerly awaited announcement of the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford bout has sparked reactions in the boxing community. According to the most recent sources, Turki Alalshik, His Excellence, is considering scheduling this fight for not too far off. "I'm working to deliver Canelo, but it will be a big fight for Crawford," Alalshik said. "I'll discuss with him the names. You got two of the top fighters of this decade, not just in the past year or so," Crawford said of a possible showdown with Canelo. "You got two fighters that's been at the top for 10 years. You got the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and you got the #1 money man. I never like to overlook anybody. I got a fight coming up August 3rd, and that's where my main focus is at." By winning a unanimous decision to maintain his undisputed super middleweight championships against Jaime Munguia on Saturday night, Canelo demonstrated that he is still the greatest 168-pound fighter on the planet. Crawford gave his decision right away following the bout when he was present. "I thought it was a good fight," he added. "I thought Munguia fought hard. I just think his inexperience caught up to him and made him fall in and square up, and not stepping in with his punches allowed Canelo to sit back, counter, and pick his shots. Canelo was real patient." Similar to the Queensberry Matchroom 5 vs 5 on June 1st, Alalshik also plans to hold a UK-USA 5 vs 5 tournament in December. But this time, a team of British boxers will take on a team of Americans. The Saudi boxing chief's strategy to improve boxing includes all of this. "Boxing is broken, but I think we don't need to get everything back together," said Alalshik. Indeed, boxing sat atop the global sports landscape for much of the 20th century. But with the best matchups being relegated to pay-per-view, the sport's lack of centralized governing body, and the minimization of pugilism at the Olympics, the sport has waned in popularity since. We need to improve it with something else. We have a strategic vision where we have identified untapped opportunities and are committed to market improvement. Whether you were fond of Turki Alalshik at the start and his involvement with boxing, you cannot deny he's making all the big blockbuster fights happen. He's a massive reason boxing is currently doing so well, and like they should, he's making the best fight the best. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell. By doing this, you'll never miss out on any future videos from the combat sports world. Boxing trainer Andre Rosier has made it known his stance between a Crawford and Alvarez fight and how it could be a step too far for Bud. He said, "I don't like it. Canelo hasn't been rattled by anybody, and he's been in with some big punchers. I don't like that fight for Crawford. If it's about money, it's a different story, but his legacy is being lamented in a fantastic way, and I'd hate to see it tarnished by trying to do too much. I think he's already there. He's going to the Hall of Fame. His accolades have mountain-high stats to them. I don't want to see him get into a situation where he could get beat. He has to build up to it. I just can't see it." Canelo Alvarez himself has also made it clear he's happy to fight Terence Crawford if the fight makes sense. And with Turki Alalshik's backing, boxing fans can most certainly see this fight take place.
A little bit Terence Crawford all of a sudden. It's as if there's a lot of momentum, and now he's open to fighting you at 168 pounds. Is this an intriguing matchup for you? Are you serious? Could you seriously consider this fight if it's there for the taking for you?
Look, I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about I'm gonna face a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147.
Since the recent news has come out surrounding Canelo and Terence Crawford, and the fact it's very likely to happen, many boxing pros have been expressing their thoughts on this matchup. Bob Arum believes that the fight could only go in one way, and he believes Canelo could hold his own quite well. Bob said, I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you with Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. Canelo is used to fighting at a particular level, and I don't think that Terence can hurt Canelo, but Canelo can hurt Terence. Given that they are two of his favorite fighters, Eddie Hearn found it difficult to choose between them. He said, "If you're going to ask me about the Terence Crawford question, you're talking about two of my favorite fighters, two modern-day greats. I do think Canelo Alvarez is too big for Terence Crawford, as good as Terence Crawford is. In my opinion, you will never see Canelo come under 168 in a fight. I don't think he wants to do that. 168 is still a little bit not tough, but it's enough, so I don't think Crawford will come up to 168, and I think if he does, I don't think he beats Canelo, so I'm not sure whether that fight happens, but if it does, two great fighters, and I'll favor Alvarez." Shakur Stevenson believes Terence would perform admirably and couldn't be more excited about this fight than he already is. Following Canelo's recent win against Munguia, Shakur was quick to post to X, "Hell of a fighter, Canelo is still think Bud beats him." Before we go any further into the video, what are your guys' honest thoughts on a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford? Would it be as one-sided as some pros are making out and Canelo's size would be the factor? Or could you see Terence Crawford being able to handle Canelo and get the win over him? Comment down below. In a recent interview, Terence Crawford stated that with the right business coming across the table, it will happen. And it seems as though he's spoken it into existence, as no one in the boxing world will make a better deal happen than Turki Alalshik, that's for sure. Amir Khan believes that no one will defeat him because he has faced both men before. Amir said, "I don't think anyone is beating Canelo. There are rumors I'm hearing about Crawford moving up to 168 to fight Canelo. I like both guys, and I just think that Crawford should not give that much weight away. I've done it myself when I was at the peak of my career, had a great win against Devin Alexander, then went and fought Canelo. You can't do it." Although Roy Jones Jr. wouldn't mind seeing Terence take against Canelo, he would rather to see Terence take on Jermell Charlo first, Roy said. "So I'd prefer to see Jermell Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo, but not right now. I want to see Crawford come up some weight class and show that he can be dominant at 154. Crawford is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters fighting, so it would be tough, but right now that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters, so we gotta see how Crawford carries the weight." Jim Lampley finds the prospect of the two fighters meeting in the ring appealing, but he believes Terence should attempt to meet him halfway rather than ascending all the way. There's a 21-pound gap between Crawford and Canelo, but I think if they could make a deal, find a catch weight, 154, 157, 160, somewhere between 147 and 168. The world would love to see the fight between the ultra-violent Canelo Alvarez and the ultra-violent Terence Crawford. That's potentially a great fight. Oscar De La Hoya believes Crawford could defeat Canelo with ease. Oscar said, "Terence Crawford will be Canelo, and time I said before, the big talented man will always beat the small talented fighter. But Terence Crawford is not small. Terence Crawford is a big guy. He can walk around at 168 if he wants to, if this fight is made at 164. Terence Crawford all day based on skill set alone. Terence Crawford is a master, and he will make Canelo look like a child. That's just my boxing experience. Do I want Canelo to win? Yes, but from an expert fighter's view, Crawford will beat him in a master class any day. One thing is for sure, boxing fans worldwide would love to see this fight take place, and hopefully it can get scheduled sooner rather than later. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to Fight Fury for future videos from the combat sports world, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.